9 signs of nutrient deficiency you can see on your face. A well-balanced and nutritious diet has many benefits. On the other hand, a diet lacking in nutrients may cause a variety of unpleasant symptoms. These symptoms are your body's way of communicating potential vitamin and mineral deficiencies. Recognizing them can help you adjust your diet accordingly. This video reviews the 9 most common signs of vitamin and mineral deficiencies and how to address them. 1. Bleeding gums. The deficiency of vitamin C often leads to bleeding gums, as well as nosebleeds and swollen joints. Our body does not produce nor store this vitamin, so you should consume it through your diet. You should consume guava, broccoli, red peppers, rose hips, kiwi fruit, and strawberries. 2. Pale lips. Pale lips are a common symptom of iron deficiency, which is the most common nutritional deficiency in the US, as reported by the Centers for Disease Control, CDC. Numerous people suffer from anemia and fatigue due to the lack of iron in the body. You should consume spirulina, spinach, raisins, lentils, dark chocolate, cacao, dark green leafy vegetables. 3. Extremely pale skin. If your skin is extremely pale, your body probably lacks vitamin B12. Other symptoms of this deficiency include skin conditions and fatigue. Animal foods are high in vitamin B12, but you can also take vitamin B12 supplements. You should consume vitamin B12 supplements, pastured eggs and/or rennet-free cheeses, cruelty-free goat's cheese. 4. A nutrient-poor diet can sometimes cause vision problems. For instance, low intakes of vitamin A are often linked to a condition known as night blindness, which reduces people's ability to see in low light or darkness. That's because vitamin A is necessary to produce rhodopsin, a pigment found in the retinas of the eyes that helps you see at night. When left untreated, night blindness can progress to xerophthalmia, a condition that can damage the cornea and ultimately lead to blindness. Another early symptom of xerophthalmia is bited spots, which are slightly elevated, foamy, white growths that occur on the conjunctiva or white part of the eyes. The growths can be removed to a certain extent but only fully disappear once the vitamin A deficiency is treated. Fortunately, vitamin A deficiency is rare in developed countries. Those who suspect their vitamin A intake is insufficient can try eating more vitamin-rich foods, such as organ meats, dairy, eggs, fish, dark leafy greens, and yellow-orange colored vegetables. Unless diagnosed with a deficiency, most people should avoid taking vitamin A supplements. That's because vitamin A is a fat-soluble vitamin, which, when consumed in excess, can accumulate in the body's fat stores and become toxic. Symptoms of vitamin A toxicity can be serious and include nausea, headaches, skin irritation, joint and bone pain, and, in severe cases, even coma or death. You should consume washed sea vegetables, such as kelp, dulse, and wakame, pastured eggs, kefir, and beans, such as navy and lima. 5. Scaly patches and dandruff. Seborrheic dermatitis, SP, and dandruff are part of the same group of skin disorders that affects the oil-producing areas of your body. Both involve itchy, flaking skin. Dandruff is mostly restricted to the scalp, whereas seborrheic dermatitis can also appear on the face, upper chest, armpits, and groin. The likelihood of these skin disorders is highest within the first 3 months of life, during puberty, and in mid-adulthood. Studies show that both conditions are also very common. Up to 42% of infants and 50% of adults may suffer from dandruff or seborrheic dermatitis at one point or another. Dandruff and seborrheic dermatitis may be caused by many factors, with a nutrient-poor diet being one of them. For instance, low blood levels of zinc, niacin, vitamin B3, riboflavin, vitamin B2, and pyridoxine, vitamin B6, may each play a role. While the link between a nutrient-poor diet and these skin conditions is not fully understood, people with dandruff or seborrheic dermatitis might want to consume more of these nutrients. Foods rich in niacin, riboflavin, and pyridoxine include whole grains, poultry, meat, fish, eggs, dairy, organ meats, legumes, green vegetables, starchy vegetables, nuts, and seeds. Seafood, meat, legumes, dairy, nuts, and whole grains are all good sources of zinc. 6. Mouth ulcers or cracks in the corners of the mouth. Lesions in and around the mouth may partly be linked to an insufficient intake of certain vitamins or minerals. For instance, mouth ulcers, also commonly referred to as canker sores, are often the result of deficiencies in iron or B vitamins. One small study notes that patients with mouth ulcers appear to be twice as likely to have low iron levels. In another small study, around 28% of patients with mouth ulcers had deficiencies in thiamine, vitamin B1, riboflavin, vitamin B2, and pyridoxine, vitamin B6. Angular cheilitis, a condition that causes the corners of the mouth to crack, split, or bleed, can be caused by excess salivation or dehydration. However, it may also be caused by an insufficient intake of iron and B vitamins, particularly riboflavin. Foods rich in iron include poultry, meat, fish, legumes, dark leafy greens, nuts, seeds, and whole grains. Good sources of thiamine, riboflavin, and pyridoxine include whole grains, poultry, meat, fish, eggs, dairy, organ meats, legumes, green vegetables, starchy vegetables, nuts, and seeds. If you experience these symptoms, try adding the foods above to your diet to see if your symptoms improve. 7. Hair loss. Hair loss is a very common symptom. In fact, up to 50% of adults report hair loss by the time they reach 50 years of age. A diet rich in the following nutrients may help prevent or slow hair loss. Iron. This mineral is involved in DNA synthesis, including that of the DNA present in hair follicles. Too little iron can cause hair to stop growing or fall out. Zinc. This mineral is essential for protein synthesis and cell division, two processes needed for hair growth. As such, zinc deficiency may cause hair loss. Linoleic acid, La, and alpha-linolenic acid, ALA. These essential fatty acids are required for hair growth and maintenance. Niacin, vitamin B3. This vitamin is necessary for keeping hair healthy. Alopecia, a condition in which hair falls out in small patches, is one possible symptom of niacin deficiency. Biotin, vitamin B7. Biotin is another B vitamin that, when deficient, may be linked to hair loss. Meat, fish, eggs, legumes, dark leafy greens, nuts, seeds, and whole grains are good sources of iron and zinc. Niacin-rich foods include meat, fish, dairy, whole grains, legumes, nuts, seeds, and leafy greens. These foods are also rich in biotin, which is also found in egg yolks and organ meat. Leafy vegetables, nuts, whole grains, and vegetable oils are rich in La, while walnuts, flax seeds, chia seeds, and soy nuts are rich in Alabama. Many supplements claim to prevent hair loss. Many of them contain a combination of the nutrients above, in addition to several others. These supplements appear to boost hair growth and reduce hair loss in people with documented deficiencies in the aforementioned nutrients. However, there is very limited research on the benefits of such supplements in the absence of a deficiency. It's also worth noting that taking vitamin and mineral supplements in the absence of a deficiency may worsen hair loss, rather than help it. For instance, excess selenium and vitamin A, two nutrients often added to hair growth supplements, have both been linked to hair loss. Unless your healthcare provider confirms a deficiency, it's best to opt for diets rich in these nutrients, rather than supplements. 8. Restless leg syndrome. Restless leg syndrome, RLS, also known as Willis-Ekbom disease, is a nerve condition that causes unpleasant or uncomfortable sensations in the legs, as well as an irresistible urge to move them. According to the National Institute of Neurological Disorders and Stroke, restless leg syndrome affects up to 10% of Americans, with women twice as likely to experience the condition. For most people, the urge to move seems to intensify when they're relaxing or trying to sleep. While the exact causes of restless leg syndrome are not fully understood, There appears to be a link between symptoms of restless leg syndrome and a person's blood iron levels. For instance, several studies link low blood iron stores to an increased severity of restless leg syndrome symptoms. Several studies also note that symptoms often appear during pregnancy, a time during which women's iron levels tend to drop. Supplementing with iron generally helps decrease restless leg syndrome symptoms, especially in people with a diagnosed iron deficiency. However, the effects of supplementation may vary from person to person. Since higher iron intakes appear to reduce symptoms, increasing the intake of iron-rich foods, such as meat, poultry, fish, legumes, dark leafy greens, nuts, seeds, and whole grains, may also be beneficial. It may be especially handy to combine these iron-rich foods with vitamin C-rich fruits and vegetables, as these can help increase iron absorption. Using cast iron pots and pans and avoiding tea or coffee at meals can also help boost iron absorption. Nevertheless, it's worth noting that unnecessary supplementation can do more harm than good and may reduce the absorption of other nutrients. Extremely high iron levels can even be fatal in some cases, so it's best to consult your healthcare provider before taking supplements. Finally, some evidence suggests that magnesium insufficiency may play a role in restless leg syndrome. 9. Red or white bumps on the skin. Keratosis pilaris is a condition that causes goosebump-like bumps to appear on the cheeks, arms, thighs, or buttocks. These little bumps may also be accompanied by corkscrew or ingrown hairs. The condition often appears in childhood and naturally disappears in adulthood. The cause of these little bumps is still not fully understood, but they may appear when too much keratin is produced in hair follicles. This produces red or white elevated bumps on the skin. Keratosis pilaris may have a genetic component, meaning that a person is more likely to have it if a family member has it. That said, it has also been observed in people with diets low in vitamins A and C. Thus, in addition to traditional treatments with medicated creams, people with this condition may consider adding foods rich in vitamins A and C to their diet. These include organ meats, dairy, eggs, fish, dark leafy greens, yellow-orange colored vegetables, and fruit. A diet that provides an insufficient intake of vitamins and minerals can cause several symptoms, some of which are more common than others. Often, increasing your intake of foods rich in the appropriate vitamins and minerals can help resolve or greatly reduce your symptoms.